Hey everyone, this is Doug with See More Seas. We recently did a 7-night Alaska cruise on the beautiful Celebrity Solstice. Let's review what we loved about it and what we didn't, right after this. Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Doug with See More Seas. This is a cruise tips and planning channel where I hope to help you and your family pick, plan, and enjoy your next cruise vacation. I've been cruising for over the last 12 years and have 20 or more cruises under my belt. I've learned a ton and I have a lot to share with you. If you find this video helpful in any way, please do give it that thumbs up, and the next time you stop in, please consider subscribing. So this trip was a 7-night Inside Passage Dawes Glacier itinerary. It departed from Seattle, went to several ports, ended up through Victoria, British Columbia, back to Seattle. We had an absolutely fantastic time, but there were some things about the ship that I do want to review. Now, the Celebrity Solstice has about 2,800 passengers, and it was built in 2008. Our cruise, we felt that we were cruising at about 80% capacity. We had several excursions planned because this was a bucket list cruise that we have had planned for many, many years. It's been planned because it originated as an Italy, Greece, Croatia tour that got canceled pre-COVID. So we have had this booked and paid for quite some time. We're going to review this cruise using Doug's ship score. Let me tell you what that's all about. So Doug's ship score is a scoring system using 5 possible stars for 5 different categories. So the first category is S for ship. This is about the design of the ship. This is how it's put together. This is the flow. This is the current condition of the ship. The next is H. H is for hotel. This encompasses the cabins, staterooms, and entertainment on board. All of those departments report up to the hotel director. Next is I for itinerary. This is about the ports and excursions that are available in each port. Next is P for plates. Food. How is the food on board? What is the quality? What is the service levels of the food? How many options are available? What are the specialty dining areas that are available on board? And finally, S is for service. Service is all about your stateroom attendant, your main dining room staff, your concierge, your guest relation desk if you're using them, all of the different services aboard the ship. We will take a big look into all of that, and then we will give you a final score of the entire Doug's ship score for our round trip Alaska cruise from Seattle. Let's begin with the ship. I absolutely love the Solstice class from Celebrity. We first went on a Solstice class several years ago with the Celebrity Eclipse. We were just amazed at the beauty of these particular ships, and we've sailed on them many, many times. The Celebrity Solstice this time was in fairly good condition. It showed a little bit of wear and tear. It recently got its hull painted, but it did not get the full revitalization that Celebrity had planned for most of the Solstice class prior to the pandemic shutdown. Now, this ship is very, very well designed, as all Solstice class ships are. It's very easy to get around. It's got real grass up on the top deck. It's absolutely a beautiful ship, and I thought it was in pretty good condition. The Solstice sports a fantastic gym and spa area that's connected to the adults only solarium, which is a beautiful area and very quiet and serene. One of the other things that I really like about the Solstice class is that in their casinos, there is no smoking and never has been. So there is no stale odor. You can walk through the casino as a non-smoker without any issues whatsoever. One of the biggest benefits of a Solstice class ship, including the Celebrity Solstice, is that the buffet is designed very, very well. It is designed in a station format, so that means that you don't have to wait in any long lines. Depending on what the cuisine or the salad or the grill station or the omelet station or whatever it might be, they are set up in different sections so as not to create lines. I never felt it was crowded or difficult to get any of the items available. The one thing that I will note on this Alaska sailing, however, is that the outside seating at the very aft of the ship outside of the buffet, it was a little cold and rainy at times, and so the inside seating sometimes got a little bit crowded. So overall, the ship I felt was in fantastic shape, and all the design features that we enjoy on the Solstice class was there and in good condition. So I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. The next point is H for hotel. Again, this consists of the stateroom and the entertainment. So let's start with the stateroom. Our stateroom was an aft corner sky suite, category S1, which is in a fantastic location for Alaska. It is the entry-level suite, and so it is a very large room. It's got an excellent layout. It also has tons of storage, a large bathroom, which includes a tub and shower with a rain head shower head. It's a really nice bathroom with lots of room. We picked this sky suite to be on the starboard side of the ship. Since we were heading north from Seattle into Alaska, we wanted to be facing land. So the starboard side of the ship in Alaska cruise, you're going to see land more often than not. We also had on the back this wonderful wraparound balcony. So we not only had the side view of the land, but we also had a beautiful aft view. The room itself was a little outdated with some wear and tear and some outdated decor, but all in all, it was an extremely large, nice suite. Okay, let's move on to entertainment. The cruise director on this cruise was fantastic. They included a naturalist to come on and speak several different times. There are actually 2 or 3 of them. So it was very, very informative. It was available on your stateroom television, streamed live as well as recorded. So that was a really, really nice option. The theater shows were fantastic. Everything was top notch. The guest vocalist that they brought on board was absolutely great. I have to tell you, sometimes we get up and walk out halfway, 3/4 through the shows. We didn't do it on any of the shows on this ship. The small groups on board that play live music throughout the day and the evening were also very, very good. The classical ensemble that plays in the ensemble lounge outside of the Murano restaurant in Michael's Club was really spectacular. They were fantastic. There was also a wonderful guitarist in the atrium most evenings that did a really great job. There were also many different trivia games and activities in the observation lounge. Since this was an Alaska cruise, that observation lounge was packed. In most Solstice class sailings that we've done in the past, this venue is normally way underutilized, but on this particular cruise, it was the place to be. So as it goes for the hotel, we are going to give the staterooms and entertainment, again, 4.5 stars. So next up is itinerary for ports and excursions. So we left out of Seattle, which was a new port for us. And so we were a little concerned about the port itself because I had read some reviews that said it takes a long time for your embarkation, but we really didn't have much of an issue and we got on board right away. Seattle itself was a beautiful city and we played tourists for a couple days prior to the cruise, did the Space Needle, did a lot of the touristy things like Pike's Market, and had a really nice time. Our first day was a sea day as we made our way past British Columbia, and up into Ketchikan. Ketchikan is such a neat little town, and you pull up right into the cruise port, and getting downtown is very, very easy. One thing that I do highly recommend in Ketchikan is that you catch the Lumberjack Show. The Lumberjack Show is absolutely a lot of fun, and everybody should go see it. Our main excursion for Ketchikan was a flight scene tour on a seaplane through the Misty Fjords. This was something that we were really looking forward to, and the day was absolutely spectacular. Great weather. We saw amazing scenery and had a wonderful time in the seaplane. The next morning we made our way through the Tracy Arm Fjords up to Dawes Glacier. This was an absolutely breathtaking morning that we were able to cruise through the fjord and see the various icebergs floating with mama and baby seals sitting on them, and it was just an amazing viewpoint from our balcony. We were invited to go to the helipad to see the glacier up close and personal. When we got to the helipad, they gave us these headphones that you could hear a commentator, which was a naturalist from National Geographic that has been in Alaska for 20, 30 years, explain what we were seeing and what to expect. It was absolutely fantastic. They also had this naturalist simulcast on the stateroom televisions, so if you happen to be in your balcony stateroom, you could also hear this live. The ship goes up towards the glacier, makes a 360 turn, so as you approach, we were out on the helipad and got amazing views, but as we started to turn, we went back to our stateroom because we had that wraparound aft balcony, and we turned and saw the exact same viewpoint from our stateroom balcony. It was really spectacular. One thing to note is that there is an excursion that you can book that actually has a tour boat come up and attach to the ship. People would disembark, they got on that boat, they were able to go much, much closer to the glacier, and then went up a different fjord and met the ship in Juneau later that afternoon. And in Juneau, we discovered that the weather started getting very foggy, rainy, and misty, and we had an absolutely amazing excursion planned for Juneau that we were a little concerned about. We were doing a helicopter tour of Mendenhall Glacier with a landing and guided hike. This was going to be the highlight of our day. We met the tour guides and waited until the very, very last second when we learned that our excursion to Mendenhall Glacier had been canceled because of flight conditions and low visibility. We then decided last minute, what should we do? And because there was such a mob at the small little Excursions hut in the parking lot, we decided that we would just go downtown Juneau and take the tram up to the mountain that is a very popular thing to do downtown. As we made our way up the tram, we noticed that we were going into the clouds, and when we actually got to the top, it was very difficult to actually see the port. As we got up there, we found that there was a large pavilion that had a restaurant, it had a theater, it had a huge gift shop, it had some outside areas, and one of the things that stands out from that visit is that we were able to visit a live bald eagle. This particular bald eagle was rescued, is blind in one eye. They had to reconstruct her beak. She was actually shot, but they rescued her and they did reconstructive surgery, and she was just absolutely amazing to see. After coming down the mountain from the tram, we did walk around downtown Juneau for a while. Again, the weather wasn't the greatest, but the rain did hold off for most of the time. So we walked around, visited many shops. We had a little bite to eat, we had a couple drinks, and we had a really nice time. Walked back to the cruise ship area and got on public transportation to take us back to the last berth that was about 1.5 miles away. Not a big deal, everything worked out great, and Juneau was a fantastic port to visit. The next port for the next day was Skagway. Skagway is a really cool little town with a great port. It is right there in town. There's only about a 5 to 10 minute walk down to the little town. So what we had planned in Skagway was a ride on the White Pass Railway, which takes you up the mountain into Canada and circles back down. That's the area where the Klondike Gold Rush began. So we were really looking forward to this. We had some time before we boarded the railway, so we did go downtown and walked around for an hour or two, which I'd highly recommend if you've got an afternoon excursion. Do the downtown area first. We walked back to the port area. There was the Skagway Seafood Company, which we had a really great lunch, and then just walked over to the ticket office and boarded. We had an absolutely amazing time. The scenery was fantastic. I got a lot of good videos of the train itself, as well as the vistas that you're able to see, and that was really an amazing adventure. And Skagway is a cool little town. The next port was Victoria, British Columbia. This is the mandatory Canadian stop on an Alaskan cruise. Before we did get into British Columbia, though, we did have a full day at sea to take advantage of some things on board. On that day at sea, I was invited to attend a wine and food pairing workshop. It was held in Blue. It was attended by about 50 people, and it was a really cool display and exercise in pairing various types of wine with different foods or combination of foods. It was led by one of the sommeliers on board, and it was a really interesting and fun event to attend. John, on the other hand, took advantage of the sea day by attending a glass blowing workshop. He was able to create his own piece of blown glass, as you can see, by working with the instructor. It was a really cool opportunity and event, and I think he had a lot of fun. We were a little disappointed in getting into Victoria not until 5 o'clock that afternoon, because we had looked at options for excursions, and we could have gone whale watching at night. We could have looked at the gardens in downtown Victoria all lit up in the evening, or we could have stayed on the ship, which we decided to do. We did get off in port and just walked around the port area for a little while, looked at all the other ships in port, and had a nice evening. It was a beautiful night, but we did not want to forego our last dinner on board before we disembark in Seattle the next morning. So I wish we would have arrived in Victoria a little bit sooner, so we had a little bit more options when it came to getting off the ship and seeing the area. The Doug Ship Score for itinerary and ports, I'm going to give 4 stars. I took away 1 star just because one of the things is that going to Dawes Glacier was fantastic in the morning. However, this is not Glacier National Park. Glacier National Park is probably a better venue. I also didn't like that we did the glacier as well as Juneau in the same day. Also, getting into Victoria, British Columbia at 5 o'clock on the last night of your cruise, it was a little bit difficult in choosing, should we have dinner and pack, or should we go out and do a whale watching tour at night? That was a little weird, but other than that, this was an absolutely fantastic experience, and we visited some really wonderful ports. Let's talk now P for plates, or the food on board. On our 7-night cruise to Alaska, we ate most of our meals in Luminae, which is the dining room reserved for suite guests. We did not visit the main dining room on this sailing. We also visited Blue, which is normally reserved for Aqua Class guests, and we visited the buffet many times, as well as did a couple specialty dining. Luminae, the main dining room for suite guests, has excellent service. You have a main server, you have a sommelier, you have the bread person, you have the maitre d'. All of the people work together as a team, and it is absolutely fantastic dinner service. They are also extremely accommodating for food sensitivities or food allergies. The breakfast service in Lumine this time, though, was a little under our expectations. We had some slow service, we had some so-so food, and we also had some not so warm food. We were a little disappointed in the breakfast and ended up going to the buffets. We did want to try out Blue on this sailing. We have been in suites a few times and have never taken advantage of the opportunity to go to the Aqua class dining area, which is Blue. Blue is normally a healthier take on food, and so we wanted to try it one night for dinner. We arrived seated without an issue, and we were also kind of disappointed here that the accommodation for food sensitivity was not taken as seriously, and they didn't really understand how to change their menu to adapt to this particular sensitivity. The buffet on Celebrity is normally a really great experience. On this particular sailing, we noticed that the quality of the food was less than what we had experienced before. So this was a little disappointing, but we were able to have some really good breakfasts, great lunches with great salads and other sides that we were able to make do, and it was very, very good. It just wasn't up to that high quality from Celebrity that we've learned to expect. Specialty dining on Celebrity is something that I really look forward to. On this particular sailing, we did Tuscan Grill twice. So on the first evening, we went in the night before and talked to them about the food sensitivity, and they were absolutely fantastic. They sat down, talked through the whole process, and our meal the next evening was absolutely perfect. On our next visit, they did the exact same thing. We had such wonderful service. It is at the aft of the ship. We overlooked the wake, and it was just a wonderful evening. I highly recommend Tuscan Grill for an exceptional experience. I will add that there are many other specialty dining options on Celebrity Solstice that all are absolutely fantastic, and I really recommend that you check them out. So, Doug's ship score for food on this sailing of Celebrity Solstice, I am giving 3.5 stars. This is a little lower than I would normally give a Celebrity sailing, but they did fall short in a few places. Normally, Celebrity has absolutely exceptional food in all venues. So the last category is S for service. This one's an easy one. Celebrity is my favorite cruise line of all of them for service. They go above and beyond in everybody from the crew to the room steward to the bartenders to the retreat hosts to the concierge in Michael's Club. They are all absolutely fantastic people, and they provide exceptional service. These people get to know you. It's personalized service, and it's done exceptionally well with an amazing attitude. They deserve the best. So the Doug ship score for service is a 5-star rating. They absolutely deserve this, and Celebrity does this like nobody else. So now it's time for the final Doug's ship overall score. We had an absolutely fantastic cruise on the Celebrity Solstice to Alaska. In the categories of ship design, the cabin, and service, we rated very, very highly. The question is, would we sail Celebrity Solstice again? Absolutely, without a doubt and without a second thought. So the overall score for Celebrity Solstice for this Alaska sailing is 4.3. This is an exceptional score and one that the Celebrity Solstice crew should be proud of. Thank you so much. We really enjoyed our vacation. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please again, give it that thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks so much. I'll see you again soon.